Delaware? Yeah, we've got the Disaster Research Center. Yeah. It's a good university. A lot of good students. Ah, okay. Oh, you found that super fun. Brandon's back from ASC, so I'd be able to make that work. So had a little bit of osmosis interaction over the past 2 years. They're in social science area at Washington University. Yeah. Sure.
Regional center.
Okay, I'm originally from Canada, so Winnipeg. Neighboring. Yeah,
or Tom Richardson is I didn't do much work.
I'm originally from Manitoba, so Saskatchewan, my sympathies. So the snow is actually less for you.
We're short one panel member, maybe short two.
Nothing makes you big.
Right, so she had a thing yesterday, she kind of dug her way through that. But then anyway, point is, you don't take.
Okay. But I like your level when you're just short of like okay.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if we get some questions from the audience first, and then I'm going to start first.
And how long
Audience interaction.
Coffee machines yet?
No, I'll.
You know what? I haven't been able to get to work. I've only gotten water.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Let me see.
I follow the instructions and everything.
Okay. Press K button.
So if you can do it, I'll follow suit.
Okay. Okay.
You good?
all of our visits are in summer or fall.
Ah.
Very partial. Yes. Yeah. By the Hudson Bay. Yeah. Yeah, but here, most of the population is
Looking forward to your session.
Oh yes. Thank you. Let's see.
Sometimes, here, let me try. Sometimes it takes.
Rabbit time. What time?
Let me see.
Do you need a hand, bud?
I think it
you
may.
have a
I'm just
water?
wondering if water needs to be
Yeah.
put in. I'm just trying to figure out where the water is supposed to go.
The water usually goes in the back. Let's see here. Let's find out. Let me switch there. Here is.
Should be water.
Oh, wait.
Water
I
is
think it
the.
actually has a water line directly to it.
Yeah. Maybe here. This one, right?
Hold on a sec here. Let's see. Does it have?
Yeah.
Hey, all right. Oh, yep, it's got plenty of water.
Yeah, plenty of water.
There you go. So you pick your size.
Okay. This is our medium. Okay.
this building. There's no advantage to this particular setup.
I don't know.
It's strange. Why would they have a performing arts center? I mean, unless they're just trying to show off all their various and sundry buildings.
I don't know. I noticed, it is a nice shiny new building.
It's a shiny new building.
So, wouldn't be my choice in terms of.
okay.
It's working now.
Yeah, it should be. We should wait for that to stop blanking. Blank.
Those handy instructions. Done brewing when the red button stops flashing.
Yeah. Huh.
Where's text for? Where's text for? Let me see if they can.
I've been trying to figure that out too. I gave up on starting drinking water. Alright.
Oh, I'll figure it out.
That's what I was telling them. I was like, if you figure it out, I'll follow suit.
Tell you what, Kiyoshi, if you have to go present,
Yeah.
I'll take care of this. I'll bring it up to you when it's done.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you very much.
No problem. Dee-dee-dee-dee-doo-doo-doo. There it is. Got it. There it goes. It's the whole process. We've been waiting for about 5 minutes for it to start running.
Oh, okay.
As told. Oh. I guess it would help. He didn't put a K-cup in there.
Oh, this is a coffee machine.
Yeah.
A water machine.
It is a coffee and water machine, actually. There it is. All right. Check. Check. There we go. Medium. And okay, wait for the button to stop flashing.
Oh, okay.
Waiting. It's heating the water up. And then you got to press and hold. There's a little extra in there.
Yeah, I tried to make it clear that was not my intention. Thank you.
Yeah, this thing takes a while to heat up. Come on.
I teach both and
I screwed up. I pressed the button, but I stopped pressing. You gotta press and hold. So it like spit out a teeny bit, and then I had to start over. Now I gotta wait for it to heat up again. It is a finicky machine. Keurig at home is much faster. Wait, it's gonna take a while.
As long as the coffee's coming out.
It's not yet.
do we have?
Still flashing.
We have these. These no battles.
Okay, if everyone would take their seats, please, we'll go ahead and get started.
It says it's heating the water. It's not doing it. It's been heating for 2 minutes. I'm gonna hang out back here. There it goes.
Panelists, please arrange themselves. That's the first test. The second will be saying the name.
Take it out. Keep waiting.
Thank you all for coming, for 10 miles through the snow uphill to get over here.
No, you gotta wait. It says wait for it to stop flashing.
This has been a great conference so far, and I'm very excited to be the moderator for this panel. I think we have an extraordinary group of folks here. And we're going to try to really make this an interactive panel forum. I have some questions if things get slow, but I'm not going to toss them out first. I want to see what the audience has to say. If it gets a little slow, I'll toss a question out. But we have a little more time. One of our panelists had a travel conflict and wasn't able to make it. So we have a little more time than originally planned, so the panelists to take as much time as they need for their presentations. And let me just introduce them to you briefly. Shalene Miller, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Kiyoshi Murakami, Iwate University, Japan. Ishmael Pagan. Oh, Ishmael Pagan. Right here. You don't have a seat, do you? No, wait. No, I have a seat here. Oh, okay. He's a difficult guy. So I've just learned to roll with it over the years. Lori Peake from the University of Colorado at Boulder, and Betty Cleanup, Tricia Watkendorf, University of Delaware. So thank you all for coming, and with that, I'm going to get out of this and try to tee up. You don't have a presentation.
I don't have a representation.
Okay. Well, then we'll back up, and you can stand up and talk. Okay.
All right, you want me to stand or?
Your fault.
I'm fine here.
Shalene's recovering from a case of food poisoning, so she might be better off just sitting and talking.
Yeah, so if you didn't see me much in the afternoon, that's why. So I am director of the Natural Hazards Resilience Certificate at UNC Chapel Hill. It's actually a new position for me. I came in July. We have a certificate. It's a graduate certificate. It's a 12-hour certificate. And it is run right now through the Department of City and Regional Planning, where I'm housed, and also sponsored by the Coastal Resiliency Center, so they shared it equally. And it's good because it lends us a little bit more interdisciplinary than we've seen in the past. I've been very happy to see the interdisciplinary students come in as well. I have 5 with me from all over, so I don't see them in the room right now, but definitely during the day they've been around. Because we're at UNC allows our students to take classes at Duke or at NC State, so I get students from other universities as well. And that really helps to expand the mindset of what we look at. My students learn a lot more from each other where they get pushed. So we have a lot of planning students. I have right now, for example, one student in meteorology. And I tell you, every time somebody has to get up and talk about the natural hazards that we face, they are all out there saying, I know he's gonna know, so I gotta do well. And so this interdisciplinary I can see really working well in the classroom. So I asked them, and I polled my certificate students, what they thought were the important things. And in terms of technical skills, the number one thing that for them that came up across the board was GIS. That the future of managing natural hazards and recovering from natural hazards is through GIS. So that was their number one. Beyond that, they really felt that data analytics, technical writing, grant writing, that these were things that they would need help with in the future to be successful in working with communities. But coming from with a lot of planning students, it means that they also felt that an important thing was how they work with communities. So from planning, we're always talking about planning from the bottom up. So planning with people. And so a really important skill for them is how to work with community, how to talk to them, how to bring people together. That these skills on how to deal with people and how to talk with people, they're soft skills, but that they're really important things for them to know and how to get by. They might be able to read plans, they might be able to read policy, but how do you get people to agree with it? How do you get people to understand the risks they're in, you know, what to do? I'm very lucky because in our certificate program, I've been able to fund and bring in speakers, and I think that has really helped open up the world for them. This semester alone, without funding, I have brought in forestry and how to manage fire risk. I've had the previous director of emergency for Florida speak over virtual and talk about what it was like to work in a state that denied climate change at the time. I've brought in somebody to talk about how the national insurance could be changed, on how reinsurance works, and to talk about how managing and mitigating for risk they found it was worthwhile to pay people to hold down their roofs near the coast, and that paid off the insurance industry versus what they would normally pay out. And so having all these different perspectives has really opened up a lot of questions, I think, for them on what they understand. So I'm still pretty new in this, but I think we're on a good direction. Looking forward, we're trying to make some changes. And for example, one is we want to open it up to other people to be a bridge. We have a lot of emergency management who have worked up through emergency management, and so they don't have that theoretical training. They don't have the understanding of the social discipline in the community. And so I just got approval this morning that we're going to be able to work towards opening it up so that other people can come in and get this graduate certificate without having to get a master's in the program. So that's where we are right now.
We'll hold questions until all the panelists are doing their presentation, so in fairness to those who come later. Yoshi, here's...
I have a surprise, so
Okay. Good morning. My name is Kiyoshi Murakami. I'm a special advisor to President of Iwate University. I'll be very, very pleased to be here to this time, and I really have to express my heartfelt appreciation to the warm welcome and the warm hospitality. So I think all of the participants feel the same way, even though it's the snow outside. I'm going to talk about what Iwate University is at a glance, and then also Great East Japan disaster, which includes the earthquake and also the tsunami. Tsunami is most the devastated, the cause for that's the devastations in that area. Universities respond to the disasters and programs and for disasters, a new approach involves with universities and the conclusions afterwards. The Iwate University is the here. This is the city called Morioka. Morioka is here's a Tokyo. Here's a Japan island. Here's the main area, Tokyo here. The Iwate is probably the 300 miles north from Tokyo. And as you know, the Fukushima is in middle, so here. And so this is the very rural area, considerably almost same type of the area as Albany here, I think. So, of course, it's not New York State, it's not a Tokyo metropolitan, but it's very north. The university itself is very, we have 4 faculties, humanities, social science, education, science and energy, engineering, and agriculture. The size of the university is not so big, not so small. So we have about 6,000 students and also 800 faculties and staff members. The Great East Japan disaster actually created a number of the transforming situation for the university as a whole. March 11, 2011, this is considered to be a once every 1,000 years of the event that actually happens. Even this morning, I was listening to the panelists, they're talking about maybe there are certain unexpected, natural disaster that happens in Puerto Rico, for instance, like an earthquake, for instance. And you don't know what happens. So you really need to go back to the history, not only a couple of hundred years. Now, we are talking about 1,000, sometimes to about 10,000 years. Otherwise, we don't know what the nature would be. So those type of the expertise is also exists here in WISE, I think. So that kind of information can be exchanged. So now I'm talking about specifically from my hometown, city of Riggs and Tagada here. Why? Because I wanted to show you what has actually happened during this disaster. So this is the Iwate Prefecture, like a state. This is a city actually completely destroyed and wiped out and destroyed whole city. This is the before tsunami happens. They had the very beautiful pine tree forest with the beach, White Sand Beach. So they had a number of the tourists comes in, like 1 million tourists every year. So this is the before tsunami happens. Can you see? You wanna go?
I can see over there.
Okay. Okay. Another screen here. Okay. All right.
You guys want to come sit?
Either way, as long as you are comfortable. Yeah. Okay. So it shows that the tsunami. Some of the photos shows from here. It's very devastated and also sometimes not easy to see. Okay. So this is the. Actually after the earthquake. The earthquake actually scale was 9.0. So as you can imagine, 9.0 earthquake actually is so big to completely destroy most of the houses. However, in Japan, most of the housing is unharmed. So this is very resilient in the buildings in Japan. However, you can see this is the 20 minutes after the earthquake happens. So number of the cars are running and also standing, most of the houses are unharmed. But the question was the tsunami itself. So it shows tsunami comes in. Here we had a 5.5 meters high seawall, actually besides the pine tree forest. They actually comes in. Tsunami is not just a wave. Tsunami is whole ocean moves in. So that eventually, before, just a minute, at the time of tsunami, when that tsunami reached, you can see here, can you see some of the people standing here try to get into the car? This is the reality. Means that some people reluctant to evacuate quickly. Some people say, oh, don't worry, it's not gonna come. We have number of tsunami before. So they are accustomed to have faced a tsunami, and they had a very relaxed feeling against the tsunami coming. Then what happens? They didn't evacuate immediately, so that they had to evacuate at the time the tsunami reaching over to the seawall. That's they realized that this is not usual tsunami. So that's the reason why some people just get into the car. 3:25, 3:26, 1 minute later, 27, 4 minutes later, whole city is being covered by tsunami. 10 minutes later, everything's gone. So this is from inside of the city, from the fire station. Firefighters were actually in the station. Some people are dispatched. Some people stayed in the fire stations. Now from here, I have I don't know how. This is the video actually. It contains a voice, but also the sounds of the tsunami coming in. This video was taken from the 3-story building of the fire station on the roof. But they were not enough, so that they had to go up to the tower, of the roof, to evacuate themselves. Now, after this, they were taking some photos from the tower. The number of the firefighters were staying at the tower overnight. So they had to, if they were in a roof, they could have been also washed away. So this is the tsunami's aftermath. Now, this is the city hall. This city hall was also, this is 10 minutes, probably 15 minutes after the tsunami. So the tsunami actually reduced once that's 10 minutes later. So that tsunami height was up to here. So some people standing on the roof, there are city officials, including mayor himself. Mayor was elected as mayor 3 weeks before this thing happens. He lost his wife, and he surviving with his 2 sons. Now his sons became the adults and also studying at the college now. That he was that's the reality. Among 400 city officials, 111 people victimized. Everybody actually faced as losing some of their immediate families and also lost their houses and everything. So, and then among those, you saw that the pine tree forest, we had a 70,000 pine trees there. Only 1 pine left. That's what we call miracle pine. So that become like a symbolic of the reconstruction of the whole Northeast Japan's reconstruction now. So, so as you see, the whole city here used to be here. Now it's gone, everything. The devastated area was almost same size of the Manhattan Island. And then we are working on reconstruction from there to elevate the entire main city by elevation of 40 feet high of the entire city. So it's same size like the 42nd Street down to the edge of the Manhattan. So whole area is elevated. Now I'm going to go through that. But by the casualty-wise, we lost almost 1,800 people. Still at this moment, 200 people are still not found yet. And then more than 13,000 people were displaced out of the house. And household-wise, more than 4,000 out of 8,000. So if we're talking about the buildings, it's more than 10,000 buildings were basically wiped out. Also in this city. This is the emergency shelter. This is an ad hoc shelter, not pre-designed shelter, because all of the shelter was also gone. So some of people were evacuated into the designated shelter, like 150 people one side and 100 people to another shelter. They were also victimized, because they didn't know that the tsunami would cover. So from here, as a university, we really changed that about the way we do business. So we basically come up with that together with the people in Iwate. We have something more important to do than continuing looking work. So that's our, the values we actually come up with. So that mission is that we, Iwate University, fully committed to contribute to the reconstruction and development of the Iwate area. So that's the whole university-wise, we changed that our values and our missions statement like this. So structure-wise, we actually, of course, number of structures, educations and life supports division, fishery reconstruction, industry reconstructions, agricultures, regional anti-disaster divisions, all those divisions we created for entire university using existing the current faculties, agriculture faculties, engineering faculties, education faculties, and humanities faculties. We maintain the faculties as it is, but on top of that, we created a new functions like this, so that all of the faculty members get involved. So regional